Welcome back to Manga Storian. My name is Benny. I go by Comic Storian, Manga Storian, Benny, the guy with the beard and the amazing hair, and the guy who looks like a hobo. All of these are my various titles across the internet, and today we're going to be talking about One Piece Red, and I have a surprise special guest. But before we get to the surprise special guest, which if you've been watching the channel, you're fully aware of who it is, or if you just read the title of the video, I want to explain my history with One Piece Red real quick. So One Piece Red, I went with my buddies Kevin and Dan to see in theaters when it aired. I had never looked into One Piece. I'd never watched One Piece. I'd never read One Piece. I barely knew who Luffy was, and I'm pretty sure while I could recognize Nami, I did not know Nami's name at the time. The point I'm making is I originally saw One Piece Red with zero context of anything. And it turned me on to the idea of One Piece enough that I decided to attempt watching One Piece Red. Well, attempt reading One Piece. And start this Manga Storian channel with my opinions of One Piece. So One Piece Red holds a special place in my heart. But I was curious of the opinions. I mean, I've rewatched One Piece Red now that it's on Netflix. And we're going to talk about my opinions of it now that I have context for everything. But I was also curious what my lovely and beautiful wife's opinion on the situation was, since I just got her to start watching One Piece. And I was curious what she thinks about it and would this have made her be into One Piece. Because when I was trying to convince her to start One Piece, I was trying to convince her to watch One Piece Red, but we couldn't find it anywhere. So she ended up watching the normal show and fell in love with it. So, welcome back to the stage, studio audience. Kevin better do like clapping right now, otherwise I just look like an idiot.
Oh, poor Kevin, man. Thank you so much for having me back. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's good to be back.
We're also going to briefly discuss your opinion. Let's start here. While I get my notes up because I'm doing both at the same time. So you've also now watched the reunion. The 6-7 episodes. I was about to say,
are we talking about the reunion first, or are we talking about the movie first?
Let's do the reunion first.
Yes.
Because post-reunion, going into One Piece Red, and I was incorrect about one key thing. There's two key things in One Piece Red that you saw, and were kind of spoiled for you. And but one of them didn't matter overall. The other one kind of did, but we stopped it before she got to it. As she said, I'm fine watching it, which was the reveal of Gear 4.
Yes, Gear 4,
and the reveal of Gear 5.
Thanks for spoiling it, Ben. You only told me about 4, not 5. Then I was upset because
I remember 5 halfway through.
Of course you did. Yeah, sure.
I didn't know it was in the movie because
it was at the very end too. So I at this point I was like, well,
only reason I even knew his appearance at the ending was Gear 5 is because I know what Gear 5 looks like thanks to the internet, and I remembered halfway through the movie. Well, when we got out of the movie, Kevin turning to me and Dan and going, "Oh, yeah, that's how they revealed Gear 5." Mm-hmm. And I didn't know what Gear 5 was. Yeah. So I was like, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah, they did a very mild reveal of Gear 5 in this movie before it got revealed in the show."
Yeah, you probably forgot about it at that point anyway.
I had forgotten about it, but I did know Gear 4 was going to be in it because looking at the characters that were popping up, I stopped it and I said, "You haven't seen Gear 4 yet. Do you want to wait? Or do you want to watch this?"
I figured it wasn't going to be too much of a change because, I mean, Gear 2 and Gear 3 weren't that, instantly different, I guess. So I kind of just went in with just thinking, it's just one of his ultimate forms. It won't spoil too much. I'm more after the where the plot's headed anyway, not about the transformations. Exactly. So I didn't care that much, but still, it was pretty funny that you just said it was 4, but it ended up being 4 and 5. So
yeah, well, I didn't know about 5 till the ending when I'm like, that doesn't look like Gear 4 anymore. Oh right, Kevin said.
yeah. You were like, oh yeah. By the way, this is 5. I'm like, great, thanks, Ben. That's cool.
So let's go back to the reunion, though.
Yes.
You have watched Ace's death. You've gotten through all of that now.
Yes.
We said we'd come back. Everyone showed up. What did you think about their new appearances? What did you think about their new powers? And what did you think about the fake Straw Hats?
Oh my God, yeah. So that whole arc was something, man. So, well, it starts with Nami, right? They first show off Nami, and then that's when you get introduced to the fake Straw Hats, and you can clearly tell that. I honestly don't know. I understand why the townspeople and everyone else are kind of like going off of a picture of what of what they've seen the Straw Hats look like. So I kind of understand why they're like, oh, orange hair. I can see why they think that, and the Straw Hat, they think that it's the Straw Hats. That's fine. But then when it's the actual crew members that come in and that have spent like how many episodes alongside each other, man, I started, well, I guess I was expecting it to be a little bit more like tearjerker, I guess.
The return?
Yeah,
just,
the
like, all-out
return.
action?
Yeah, because I still enjoyed it for what it was. I really did get annoyed at Chopper because once again, it didn't take too long, but I guess everyone got stronger but not smarter. I'm serious. Like it was Chopper and Luffy specifically. I wasn't expecting anything less from these two. Honestly, I was expecting Usopp to just come in and then have that trio of people because those three are just the most ridiculous ones. And I was expecting Usopp to just come in at the end and be like, oh yeah, it's them too. Like, you know, it's just kind of like have their stupid moment together again because they love to do that and be stupid together. But it was just Luffy and Chopper. But I promise, when I was watching these episodes, I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? How can you not see through that? I understand why they did it, though, and it was kind of wholesome at the end. But outfit-wise, though, because I know that's what you're asking. You're not really asking about anything
all
else.
Changed.
I'm honestly, I like... I understand that they're trying to make the girls more, like, just more mature. I guess I appreciate
bigger boobs means more mature, right?
I appreciate that, and also just kind of like I guess more comfortable in a way in their own skin and stuff. That's cool. I guess I like everyone's growth except Frank. I'm just indifferent about Frankie's. I feel bad for saying that, but I'm just so indifferent about what he looks like.
I hate Frankie's new appearance.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Luckily, somehow Frankie went from being cool and on the main crew. Like he's had, since I've been reading, and I'm up to Wano now. He's really just been on the backseat.
I feel really bad. Because he was probably one of the coolest ones in the movie for me. He had his moments. It was really funny. But his appearance wise, I understand why they made him look the way he does now. But it's just. Yeah, everyone is gushing over, his new, his new missiles and stuff like that. But appearance wise, man, I don't think I don't know. I liked his first version way better. Everyone else though is looking pretty good. I loved.
What's your opinion on Nami going from t-shirt to barely
Why are you asking me that? Why are you asking me? I'm not a guy. I see boobs every day, man. I'm indifferent, about about boobs. I appreciate.
No, but more from
seeing...
the opinion of she was fully covered. Now she's not.
I mean, hell, she's a pirate, man. It probably gets really freaking warm, except when they're in in the ice world, I guess. But now they're just moving forward, and it's gonna be like. I've heard that they're going underwater, so I guess she's already prepared to swim. I don't know, man. That's great. That's
she's all ready for Fishman Isle.
Yeah, right. and I think Robin's probably my favorite, to be honest. Robin's.
I did like Robin's upgrade.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't see the difference with the Sanji too much.
Sanji got a goatee. How are you missing the goatee?
No, he's even more French. Except, he's missing the actual pronunciation. But we won't talk about that later. The Usopp is pretty good too. Cause I'm looking at them as I speak about them right now because I want to make sure I don't because they looked
Zoro's
so different in the movie, and in the movie they all looked amazing, in my opinion. I loved.
You liked both? Well, let's go to the movie then. We'll just talk about the outfits in the movie. You liked how they showed up in their. Like Usopp looked like he was from Kiss.
Usopp's was amazing. I really loved it. He just probably the coolest out of all of them, honestly, in that movie. It was Usopp's, and everyone else was pretty good too.
I feel like Zoro just put on his original outfit, so then he became Zoro pirate outfit.
yeah, and also I guess speaking of Zoro, the only thing I really do want to figure out, because when he showed up, he had a scar and he had one of his eye missing. Basically, I really want to know what happened there. I guess it happened during his training. I get that, but I really do want to find out what happened.
I mean, I just got to Wano and they haven't said anything about that. Sadly,
that's unfortunate.
It just happened. You think they would have fun explanations in the
backstory? I would hope so as well.
So One Piece Red.
Yes.
I didn't give you any information. All I told you was, as far as I know, it's not canon and it's a self-contained movie.
I was a little skeptical at first because you were like, trust me, it's gonna be good and it will make sense as well. So I was glad that you were able to tell me that it'll, you know, just give it some time and it'll be good. The first couple of minutes, I was kind of like, this looks so just out there and not what I've been used to watching from
Uda's
the actual
first
show.
song.
Yeah, from the actual show. Obviously, I've heard Brooke sing before, but it was so just it was basically like a Miku concert at that point. Is what I was thinking in my head. The first couple of songs
I didn't
were
even
really
warn you about
out
that.
there.
It started up and the music
Yeah.
started, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a musical.
Yeah, thanks for warning me. I mean, not that I mind at all, but it was just it felt so out of character. And then the second that Luffy was like, "Hey, I know you," and then Uta was like, "I know you too." And then when everyone's like, "Well, I can't believe you know her. Who is she?" And then when Luffy's like, "It's Shanks' daughter," and I was like, "Huh?" Then I was like, "Well, now I'm interested now because I've been wanting to know about Shanks a lot more." So
Right.
I was very very into it from that point on forward. And then the songs just kept progressively getting better and better.
Yep.
It was really really good. Yeah, it was super intriguing. I loved how, again, I don't.
Well, I got a couple notes here to go through so we can pace out the movie.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of, now that I've read all as far as I have up to Wano, one thing I found weird was they kind of used the excuse of, by the way, we now have video transponders in the entire world. It just felt way more connected.
Yeah.
Because Uda was able to reach out to the entire world. And the reason I found that weird is at the end of every arc, the information is getting out, but through newspapers.
Yes, newspapers. Yes.
So I felt like it was a huge technological advancement, and I get it was just for the movie because we needed the movie.
Was
to
it
function
really,
like that.
or is it supposed to be happening way later?
No. So when I googled it and figured it out, it is technically out of canon. It could fit in post Wano, but it is out of canon. But Uda has been confirmed to exist in the manga and the anime. I was told to clarify, and I was reminded that it does pop up in Dressrosa, the video transponder sales, and I'm aware of that. It just felt way more. My point is, it felt way more connected in the movie, the world itself, where like
Are you okay, Ben?
everybody. Huh? My
You
hair
okay?
got messy. My hair, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix my hair.
Okay, yeah. So from newspaper to snails.
Right,
to-
because yes, we have video transponders, but the primary source of getting information out in the world of One Piece has been the newspaper going around. So when we open up and we're like, by the way, Uda is going to do a concert to the entire world, I was like, she is? Okay. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It just felt weird. Felt way more connected than One Piece is, but that was just me kind of nitpicking.
And also, I mean, it would make more sense as of, well, for the plot, for the sake of the plot too. You're right. It's
Yeah,
just,
she had to be able to transmit to the
Yeah,
world for it
yeah.
to be a world level threat.
Otherwise, can you imagine if she's singing and then they're reporting from newspapers and then you have to wait a week for everyone to receive that thing and then it's just
And then they all get tired and then they fall asleep.
and then they're like, oh shit, we should probably send somebody because she's doing some weird stuff, and then they have to wait a week for it to actually, it made sense for the plot.
What did you think about, I got it written here, Uda and Luffy's backstory together?
I
adding to
loved it,
Luffy's
man.
backstory,
Yeah, adding
making it
to-
another sad element.
I know it's that poor guy, man. Good lord, no wonder he just wants to help people. It was wholesome. Once again, I ever since they showed the Luffy's and Ace's backstory, I felt for the guy, but this movie definitely added to that. So it was really wholesome to see. But it just feels like every single people he ends up befriending just ends in a freaking tragedy, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Because where you are, you've got, Ace, Sabo, and now Uda.
It's awful. That poor guy's been through a lot.
Okay, yeah, so, it was interesting. I also liked how they slowly elaborate on Uda, like, oh, every time she sang, we went to sleep. Oh, that's because that's her power.
Yes. Yes. And then I was asking you these questions and I was like, wait, let me guess. Her power involves some kind of, obviously, singing, because that's the whole point of the movie. So you were asking me to wait until they explain what her power actually was.
Yeah.
Everything-
I do remember the plot. It was funny because I remember the core plot to this movie, but little moments made way more sense, such as Trafalgar Law and Bartholomew showing up.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
did have to explain to you who Bartholomew is. which was the guy
Bartholomew.
that he gotta talk like this, and he was like praising Mr. Luffy.
Yes, that's the guy. Yeah, that guy was probably one of my favorites because there was this one moment where he was trying to get Luffy out of trouble and he was tearing up at the same time.
Yep.
And because he was tearing up, he couldn't see the wall, so he just kind of smashed into it. Yeah.
I can't see the wall because I can't see where I'm going, Mr. Luffy, because I'm crying so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had to explain to her that Bartholomew is the super fan from the Dressrosa Coliseum arc.
And
which
that's
she'll
supposed to
get
be
to.
later, right? Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say because I can't.
I didn't know
again,
who Bartholomew was. I didn't know he was going to be in the movie, and then I'm like, right, that guy.
Yeah, I'm very much about relationships and like just development and stuff. So I'm very much looking forward to when they meet up, and also that other crew that has saved him in the past. You're telling me that they're about to show up in the next arc, and I'm very much looking forward to that too.
Yep.
I
Hold
love that
hold
crew
thought,
so
hold that
much.
thought. We'll have to edit this.
Oh my god. Hi.
You said about Trafalgar Law.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the other crew showing up next arc because I with the bear I love these guys so much.
Yeah, Beppo.
Yes, but especially their captain.
They never
I love.
explained. I thought it would make more sense this time around, and they didn't really explain it. Uda turning people into basically chibi versions of themselves. Tiny Beppo, Tiny Doorman.
Yeah, yeah.
And they never really explained it because everyone else is like, you're an ice cream cone and you're a teddy bear, but you're chibi. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Speaking of chibi, when Uta transformed the ship into little Sunny, that was adorable.
Sunny the Pokemon. That's what I called him. I
How
was
is
like, I
there?
forgot.
There's got to be some kind of merch, about the Sunny somewhere out there. There's
Oh,
gotta
I
be.
guarantee there. has
Okay,
to
I was
be
about to
a
say 'cause
Sunny. You want me to
that
get you the
is-
Sunny merch? You
No,
want
I'm
me to
just
get
saying
the
it's
stuffed
such missed opportunity if there isn't. It was insanely adorable.
animal? So, okay, I didn't know you were a fan of Law. Which is funny because
yes.
she's like, wait, who is he? And I'm like, that's Traffy. And then later on, she's like,
I was
wait,
like,
who
what do
is
you
it?
mean Traffy? Yeah.
I'm like, Traffy's what Luffy
Like, I should
and Robin
know.
call him. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Oh, thanks, Ben. Well, I didn't know that.
because they
yeah.
would all call him Law for
Trafalgar
the most
Law,
part, or
yeah.
Trafalgar or Law. So I was like,
Yes.
okay. So I had to explain that, but I did. You liked him just showing up. What I found to be interesting now that I know so many people in One Piece overall, One Piece Red was just more of a who's who from the history of One Piece popping up randomly throughout the
Basically.
story. Of
Yeah,
it.
it's really cool though. I mean, this is kind of what what you want to see in these kind of movies. You want to see as many people as possible pop up in it,
Yeah.
and team up.
I know you like the joke of Brooke trying to see the panties.
Oh my god.
Come on, I put a note of it.
Why would you bring that up? That's the
'Cause
one thing.
It's funny that
Good
he was stuck
Lord.
there and he was like, I can get us off of here, but I'm seeing Nami's panties.
Yeah, he said it twice. Yeah, he was like, "So can you sing that?" "Oh, I don't know, but I can see Nami's panties from here." It's like, okay, Brooke, we get it.
We get your goal, Brooke.
Yeah,
Make sure
yeah.
your
You
joke is
finally
still
got
in
what
there.
you wanted. That's great, Brooke. Yeah, but of course they have to
But
keep
it's not
that joke
canon,
going.
so he didn't get to see her panties.
Wait, he didn't?
It's because not canon. So he in
That's
normal
really
Brooke.
sad. So he's just gonna keep trying every episode. It was now that you say that, I was fully expecting him to say something about that when they reunited in these episodes, and obviously the first thing he said was, "Now that I'm here, can I see your panties? Because you have a new outfit and stuff." So of course, it's the first thing he said to Nami. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I got Brooke is still after Nami's panties. Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge cast rollout. Saint Charlos, the celestial dragon showing up.
Saint Charlos.
Yeah, he's the guy that showed up and wanted to just take Uda. He was the celestial dragon. They're
Oh,
like,
that
Uda-
guy. Yeah, the guy that was keeping the mermaid prisoner in
Yep.
in the yeah. Yeah, that was so weird.
For him to show up?
Yeah, it's just out of the blue, I guess. I understand why he was there because that's kind of his job. I shouldn't say job, but kind of his role, I guess, to just
Right, to always show up, demand things, and then get beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely got his ass kicked. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I was not expecting him to show up. That's for sure. But again, I think what really I was the whole movie I was just bracing myself for when Shank would show up because you told me you just let me I was asking.
Okay, you asked
can
me
we
though.
Yes, I was like, can we finally see something besides him getting his freaking arm eaten? Just can he show us what he's capable of finally, because he's never really done that before, right? Everybody's talking about how he's feared, and and all that, but we never really saw him in action. So I was asking you, since he's such a massive part of the movie and it's his daughter, is he going to show up at some point, and are we going to get to see what he's capable of finally? And you told me yes. And
But
I was like, all right.
don't expect much though. It'll
No,
just be
you
at
did
the
not.
ending.
No. I want to state that you did not say that. You told me yes, and that was it. And I was like, that's all I need. I'm gonna wait for him to show up.
Let's move forward then. What did you think of Uda's actual backstory when they revealed what happened with Musica?
I
and the
knew
town?
as soon as she started saying, talking about how Shank was a bad man and stuff, I knew that there was something off there, because everyone's talking so highly of Shanks. It had to be something. Obviously, it's like any movies, right? Plot twist at the end. I knew there was more to it than just her saying he's just a bad man and he abandoned me. Especially with the way that they were interacting with each other and what led up to the moment of her just kind of, just being left behind. There had to have something. There had to have been something happening in between, and I knew we were gonna get that revealed later. So, but I was kind of like, I don't believe it, man. I'm gonna wait to see what the reveal is, but I don't believe that Shank is a bad guy there. I just think that, I didn't expect to hear about the reveal about her just being left behind and Shank's just kind of protecting her. I didn't expect it to be that, but I knew that it was something similar, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so did you find her story sad? It's typical.
Of course,
typical
it was.
One Piece
It's
fashion.
One Piece, obviously. I don't think anybody's getting their freaking happy ending. If Laboon and Brooke ever get reunited, I think it's probably the best thing that's gonna come out of One Piece. But not even the One Piece, just them
That's
reunited.
all you want.
Yes.
Brooke and Laboon to be
Give
reunited.
someone a good freaking, like, I don't know, some kind of a happy moment, and that will last longer than like 2 episodes. Good Lord.
Oh, I was gonna say we got a few of those, but no, they didn't last.
That's what I mean.
So.
They probably won't last. Exactly. So it's very, just give somebody a break, man.
All right. What did you think about Luffy going Gear 4? You didn't like how Gear 4 looked. Bouncy boy.
I have a weird relationship with gears in general. I understand why. We talked about this at the end of the movie. I understand why he's the one that that has to. It's like a training thing, right? So because he's made out of rubber, it makes sense that he would his powers would just get better over time with training. I get that, but now I'm just stuck on Gear 5, man. What the hell was that?
That just happened, so we're not.
I'm sorry.
Neither of us is gonna find out for a long
I know,
time.
but listen, like Gear 2, Gear 3, Gear 4. They made sense.
Natural evolutions.
They made sense. Yes,
Rubber
I
Boy.
want to know what the hell that was, though. That Gear
5 where he went all
because
white, smoky.
yeah, I was like, what the hell? With a freaking halo or something? Like what was that?
Well, we got a long way to go before.
I
we get to
know,
Gear
but
5,
I
so.
guess I'm jumping the gun here. But if I hadn't seen Gear 5, I think I would have been like, yeah, this is what I'd come to expect. Yeah, sure. It looks like a good evolution of his power. That's fine. But now I'm stuck on 5 because you showed me 5. So thanks, Ben.
I didn't. One Piece Red did. I didn't realize it was 5 until I'm like, there's a little.
God, and I'll just have to sit here and just have it in my mind until like episode, I don't know, 2000.
Like 1,000.
Yeah,
You're on 574. You got a ways to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I'm kind of stuck on that. But besides 5, though, it made sense. It did.
Yeah. And what did you think about finally seeing Shanks cut loose and go crazy and
I don't know
fight
if
the
you can
Marines
call it cut
and fight?
loose. I don't know if you can call it cut loose, Ben. Listen, there was one time where there was one moment where he did use his haki, right?
Yeah.
At one point, yes. That is what I wanted to see, but on a grander scale, I guess. I was expecting him to just have to, I don't know, man. The way that people are talking about him, I was fully expecting him to just look at someone and then with one look, the entire world collapses or something. I don't know, man.
I mean, he did it on Whitebeard's boat forever ago.
Something as crazy as that. So when I just saw him fighting like a regular guy, I was like, well, it's basically Luffy, but better. Right
Shanks
now.
is better than Luffy.
I mean,
Natalie said it.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know, man. I don't know anything about Shanks at this point, and I want to know more. This is the whole reason why I was excited. I wanted to know more about him, and I did kind of learn about about him more in a way, about his history, but not him. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. So,
So yeah, looking it up, the movie is not canon,
Mm.
but Uda has now been introduced into the One Piece lore.
Yes.
So the movie could, in theory, happen. I had to explain to Natalie that Dragon Ball did this forever, where they would do like Battle of the Gods. Here's Beerus. Oh, you guys like Beerus? Here's the Beerus arc in the show.
Yeah, Beerus is my favorite, man. Yeah, and so, oh God, I wanted to. You lost me with Dragon Ball. God, I had something I wanted to say, and now I can't.
Shanks.
Man.
You wanted more Shanks. Shanks history.
Shanks history.
I was saying that it's not canon because
Not
Uda
canon,
dies.
yes.
But now she's alive. So
Now she's alive. Well, yes, because it confused me at first because Luffy was like, oh, it's his daughter. So then I thought that it was, another one of like, oh my God, they don't look the same at all, but they'll probably explain that or something because half of her hair was red, right? Or something like that.
half red, half white.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought it made sense and there was some kind of a backstory linked to that. But then I realized that it's another one of those, she got found on the boat and he just basically raised her as his own child. Then I was like, oh, it's not really his daughter. It's just somebody that he found, really, and cared for. And that's cool. But I was kind of hoping that, it was going to give more backstory
Shanks' backstory.
Yeah.
And not just, I found a baby.
Basically.
Shit.
Yeah. And of course him saying like everything must happen for a reason. And it was a good message, man. I loved the movie as a whole, but I just want to know more about his crew, man. Every time they show up, they look so freaking strong, man. I just want to know more about them.
Right.
But it's not going to happen for a while, so. Yeah.
All right. Last thought. Since I watched this and it got me into One Piece, do you think that this movie would have convinced you to watch One Piece?
That's tough to say, man. It's really tough to say.
I know, because you have the context of the movie now, so you knew a lot of it.
Especially since, it showed some banter here and there, and like it was funny. That maybe could have hooked me, but the fact that that it's not a character that Uta is not a character that will be coming back, or at least if she is, it's not until way later. If I had been getting attached to her and everyone else, I don't think it would have necessarily made me want to start watching One Piece because none of these characters would have been really there except the crew itself, right?
Right.
The main crew. So it's really difficult to say, man, because what got me to watch it is, like we talked about it was the live action and the crew, the main crew.
Right.
And because it wasn't really about the main crew in this movie, I don't know if it would have necessarily made me want to watch, a show about like one quarter of the cast that was part of the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. I was just curious.
So yeah, I can't answer that. I
All
can't.
Right. Well, guys, if you want to get more Natalie, check her out at Yorcia, YORCIA, over on YouTube or Twitch. Both of them work. She prefers YouTube if you have to pick one.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Natalie will be back after she watches Fishman Island. And next week, I'll be here talking about the Reveille. Reveille?
Yeah.
The beginning of Wano. I'm in Wano. I'm in Wano!
I don't even know what that means, but I'm already halfway through the Fisherman, Fishman Village thing. So it should be finishing real soon, though.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.